Right now at 10, a big blow from Big Brother. The $2,000 debit cards planned for all hurricane victims now canceled. We've got reaction from evacuees in the district.
Plus, a warning tonight before you hop in a DC cab. Why you'll need extra cash to get where you're going.
And the Redskins getting some surprising support from some speedy fans. We'll explain the NASCAR connection. The news starts now.
This is Fox 5 News at 10.
$2,000 would mean the world to most Katrina evacuees, and now they'll never know. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Bolter.
And I'm Sean Yancey. Tonight, FEMA announced it is canceling that $2,000 debit card program for all Hurricane Katrina victims. Many started lining up 2 days ago to get the cards. We are live with reaction from the evacuees at the D.C. Armory.
Also today, a change at the top. FEMA Director Michael Brown out, sent back to Washington. Now one of the Coast Guard's top brass is in charge of hurricane relief and recovery.
And the Maryland National Guard takes a day trip to the storm-ravaged areas. We'll take you along for the ride.
But first, let's get the latest on the aftermath. Here's Fox's Doug Luzader in New Orleans.
Has been a big change in the management of this disaster relief operation. The head of FEMA, Michael Brown, is now out. FEMA has been the subject of withering criticism. In New Orleans, soldiers are still trying to get people to leave the city. In Mississippi, people are still waiting in long lines just to call FEMA's assistance number. Here, you are unlikely to find much sympathy for FEMA Director Michael Brown.
And now we're all stuck because of his stupid ass.
President Bush has praised Michael Brown's handling of the relief effort. But now Brown is out, called back to Washington. And this man, Coast Guard Vice Admiral Thad Allen, is now in charge of the operation.
There are a lot of activities going on in New Orleans right now related to saving of life, search and rescue, door-to-door screening for evacuees, treating remains with dignity.
As the waters subside, they reveal a grotesque landscape. Cars on top of one another, sitting at every angle. And in the midst, a search begins for the dead. At this point, fewer than expected.
The numbers so far are relatively minor as compared to the dire projections of 10,000.
But there are fears that these infected waters may yet claim more lives, especially if remaining residents do not leave. They are not being forced to leave yet, but it may come to that, and these people are not happy about it.
What's going to happen? I'm going to still stand up for my freedom to do what I please, but I'm not going to jail for it.
And the Associated Press is now reporting that homeowners in New Orleans are now banned from owning guns, and police are said to be enforcing that order. In New Orleans, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Here's some Fox 5 fast facts on Vice Admiral Allen. He's currently third in the chain of command at the Coast Guard. After September 11th, he headed up the agency's Atlantic Forces response. A short time later, he assumed duties as the Coast Guard's chief of staff.
More bad news today for the evacuees of the Crescent City and the Gulf Coast waiting for those $2,000 debit cards from FEMA. The program has been canceled. Evacuees waiting in those long lines in Texas, however, will still get the cards. But anyone else who left to go to another state is out of luck for now. Fox 5's Robbie Chavez down in the newsroom now with reaction from evacuees at the D.C. Armory. Robbie?
Sean, at the D.C. Armory, some are getting frustrated over what they call the backtracking, broken promises, and political shuffle going on. For instance, some have been expecting luggage for their belongings. Instead, they have torn trash bags. Cell phones were promised today for everyone. Turns out there was not enough to go around. Now the debit card debacle has some at the breaking point.
It's just a bad situation, not getting any better.
News that the money is not coming for now spread quickly through the D.C. Armory. Broken promises equal broken hearts. Trust further eroded.
I would be very disappointed coming here in a situation that I'm in, homeless. I don't have anything, and I'm still searching for my family.
It matters to the 215 guests in the nation's capital, especially since they are more than 1,000 miles from home, sleeping on a cot. The $360 handed out by the American Red Cross went quickly.
They made the promise, then they changed it, then they're changing again, and it's, you know, I mean, it's like, this whole thing is one of the worst debacles.
For those left high and dry, it's another strike against FEMA. It's why those wanting to give want to do it themselves.
If we sit back and wait, nothing's going to happen. So I'm so happy for the outpouring and the generosity of the citizens of the country, actually, because a lot of the help that they're getting is not from the government. That counts.
I just want to put something in somebody's hand so that I know it's doing good to help somebody.
Some in Texas already got their debit cards, but outside the state, everyone else will have to wait, possibly for a direct deposit or even a check. Not good for those who barely have a torn trash bag of belongings, much less a bank account to go to.
Most people don't have accounts. And first of all, it's a drop in the bucket. There's been so many different rumors about how it's going to be done, what's going to be done, different amounts and everything else. And it's just another one of the chaos that's all around this whole thing.
Frustration all around. Now, up next, 30 kids at the shelter are preparing to start school here in the district on Monday. Some parents say it's hard to prepare their students with no money. Most were counting on this helping hand. FEMA would only say it was because of staffing problems. We're live in the newsroom. Robbie Chavez, Fox 5 News. Sean, back up to you.
Very frustrating, Robbie. Thank you. Meantime, hurricane evacuees at other locations like the Armory will have to apply for what they call expedited aid by filling out forms on FEMA's website. The Red Cross is taking good care of the evacuees inside the Armory. They are getting hot food to eat, some phones to talk to loved ones on, and also a television to watch and relax a bit. But that's not all. Organizers have also set up stations where people can check on housing opportunities, schools, and jobs. The Red Cross is also still welcoming people stopping by with cash donations.
I could have been in the same position too, so I think it's time for me to give back because I'm in a position that I can give something.
The evacuees are also receiving food stamps, Medicaid, cash assistance, and child care.
Now, the Maryland Air National Guard is flying nonstop as part of the massive relief effort for Hurricane Katrina. Fox 5's Michael Gargiulo grabbed a seat on one of their planes today, down to New Orleans and back, as the Guard tried to deliver everything and everyone they can. He shows us one of the many ways our region has responded to this tragedy.
The Maryland Air National Guard C-130 fills up quickly on the tarmac in Baltimore. From here, it's just a 3-hour flight to the hurricane strike zone. The Maryland Guard has flown in 71 tons of supplies since Katrina struck. Pilot Colonel Mark Wolfgang has made this trip before, but the scene still has an impact on him.
Been doing this for 25 years, seen a lot of disaster scenarios, but nothing ever comparable to what we're dealing with down here.
This aircraft is packed. On board, pallets of food and medicine, armed Maryland Guard troops, and state emergency workers heading in to relieve colleagues already there. As the plane descends towards New Orleans Naval Air Station, Katrina's wake is visible. Submerged neighborhoods, broken buildings, roads leading nowhere.
You see the photographs and on television, but until you see it, you can't really see the depth of it.
The turnaround is pretty quick here at the Naval Air Station in New Orleans. Most of the aircraft coming in won't even shut their engines down. Just pull up to a stop, unload their cargo and passengers, and take off again. This is an intense operation. There's all kinds of military aircraft on the move. They're all part of the massive relief effort. This flight takes on some returning passengers. Maryland emergency volunteers exhausted from days of hurricane duty. Among them, Dr. Geoffrey Mountvarner from Howard University Hospital.
It's a completely different world. We honestly felt like we were in a war zone.
And while this flight has only nylon web seating and no food service, it is flying them home once again. With the Maryland Air National Guard, Michael Gargiulo, Fox 5 News.
And take a look at this scene. It looks almost like a soldier's camp in Iraq, but that is actually a U.S. Navy Hurricane Katrina Relief Center on Biloxi Beach. It's called Camp Restore. More than 4,500 Marines and sailors are staying there. That way they can be closer to the disaster area and in a position to be more easily available to the victims.
Tonight, forecasters are keeping an eye on the Atlantic coast, tracking the on-again, off-again Hurricane Ophelia. Gwen Taubert has been monitoring the situation down in the Weather Center for us. Gwen, does it look like Ophelia will stay away from the coastline?
Well, that is the tracking challenge as far as the storm is concerned, Sean. And, you know, the models have continued to be in disagreement about what's going to happen. But we're going to show you a track in just a second. First, let's begin with storm scan. This is our infrared satellite shot. You can see the center of the storm is pretty much well offshore. The strongest winds, therefore, are offshore as well. But there are still some strong winds hitting the coastal region, so they're not getting away 100% with this at all. Let's take a look now at our weather graphics, and you can see the same situation as far as the rain is concerned. They've got a lot of beach erosion that they're dealing with from Myrtle Beach all the way down to Daytona Beach, and the storm is actually currently 175 miles east-northeast of Daytona Beach. And in Flagler County, they've already got reports of water reaching the top of the Intracoastal Waterway, spilling over it at times even, but there's been no damage to homes or to property there. It's going to take a real strange little turn. It's going to head off to the northeast, and then it's going to take a little bit of a loop and head right for the west towards the coast. I'll have more details on what we can expect with this storm and our own weather a little bit later for you.
All right, Gwen, we'll see you then. By the way, 21 names are assigned for storms each hurricane season. So far this year, we have had 15 named storms.
And of course, the 11th storm will go down in the history books. Katrina.
That's right. Tonight, the nation's eyes turned from the devastation to their televisions, and some local workers answered that call for help. Bob?
Well, Sean, they answered the telephone calls from viewers of tonight's Shelter from the Storm telethon. We'll take you inside and tell you how you responded. Roz?
Bob, a Rockville church goes in search of some Hurricane Katrina survivors and almost comes back empty-handed. The story of how they made it all work is just ahead. Brian?
Also ahead, Roz, Katrina's aftermath, even affecting how much you pay for a cab. Coming up, we're making sense out of the extra dollars you might be spending.
And football and NASCAR. It's an unusual duo that's coming together for the Redskins. We'll explain when Fox 5 News at 10 continues.
Sunday, remembering 9/11. We'll show you the many ways D.C. is commemorating the 4-year anniversary of this national tragedy. From New York to our area, we'll bring you complete coverage of events live, plus the latest on Katrina relief and recovery efforts from here and across the nation. Sunday on Fox 5 Morning News.
Fair Oaks Chrysler Jeep extends employee pricing. These are the final days to get the Fair Oaks Chrysler or Jeep you really want. Employee pricing plus oil and filter changes for life. And you get the rebates. Fair Oaks Chantilly Chrysler Jeep.
Tim Kaine, Lieutenant Governor, Mayor, family man.
I learned personal responsibility in my dad's ironworking shop. As a Christian missionary in Honduras, my work changed children's lives. As mayor of Richmond, I cut taxes, cut crime, and built schools. As lieutenant governor, I worked with Mark Warner, Democrats and Republicans, to put Virginia's financial house in order. I'm Tim Kaine. As your next governor, I'll work to bring economic opportunity to all parts of Virginia.
Fair Oaks Dodge extends employee pricing. These are the final days to get the Fair Oaks Dodge you really want. Employee pricing plus oil and filter changes for life. And you get the rebates. Fair Oaks Dodge in Fairfax City.
The new fall season starts first on Fox with the season premiere of Cops and a bone-chilling discovery. Saturday at 8 on Fox 5.
My credit card company called me. They wanted to know if I charged 2 surfboards in Laguna Beach.
Credit card companies are on the alert for fraud.
They gave me a new card the next day.
Most credit card fraud is detected before the victim even knows about it.
I wasn't held responsible.
If we think it's not you, we'll contact you to check a purchase.
I guess it wasn't a wipeout.
Your credit card companies.
Hey, Dad, did you know Kraft American Singles have double the calcium of many other American slices to help me have strong bones and teeth when I grow up?
Just don't grow up too fast.
Kraft American Singles, double the calcium, now with vitamin D.
Now it's time. Skins, Bears, Sunday at 1 p.m. The NFL returns to D.C. and HD on Fox 5. You're watching Fox 5 News at 10, winner of the 2005 Murrow Award for Outstanding Newscast.
Did you get a chance to see tonight's telethon, Shelter from the Storm, right here on Fox 5? Just one way people are reaching out to help the many victims of Hurricane Katrina. The hour-long telethon was broadcast on all the major television networks as part of what's being called Broadcast Unity Day. Some of the people answering those telephone phone calls were right here in Prince George's County. Fox 5's Bob Barnard live in Beltsville tonight to show us how you, people here in our region, responded. Bob?
Well, Sean, hundreds of Verizon employees from company executives on down gave up their Friday night to come here, one of 24 Verizon call centers across the country, accepting donations from viewers of tonight's telethon. Like many things associated with Hurricane Katrina, the initial moments after the telethon began were strangely silent on the 4th floor of Verizon's call center here in Beltsville. We were told a routing issue kept all of the hundreds of telephones in the building from ringing. Then, just after 8:30, the calls started coming in.
Thank you for supporting Shelter from the Storm. My name is Angie. How may I help you?
More than 600 Verizon employees gave up their Friday night to answer the phones here.
I wanted to help out in some way. And giving up a Friday night is nothing.
Proceeds from the star-studded telethon will go to one of 2 major charities. The choice is up to the caller.
Either Red Cross or you can donate to the Salvation Army. 25?
So it's the total scope of it, and I don't think they've figured out yet what it's going to involve, from people getting jobs back to employers finding employees, people getting paid, people getting mail, putting families back together.
Teresa McFarland just received a $1,000 donation. Anything is possible. Come on, rise up.
4 years ago, a 2-hour tribute to heroes telethon, 10 days after the September 11th terrorist attacks, helped to raise $150 million for the United Way in New York.
It's overwhelming, really.
Suzette Walker is one of scores of Katrina evacuees now living at the Red Cross shelter inside the D.C. Armory. She says monies raised by the telethon and other programs are desperately needed. Do you have any idea how much money it would take you to get you back to where you were before Katrina?
No, you want me to give you a figure, and I can't give you that. Lots of money. Lots of money.
You lost a home?
I lost a home, totally. I was a helicopter survivor. I was a roof person.
Now, even though tonight's telethon has ended, you can still make a donation. Just visit either the Red Cross or Salvation Army websites. Sean.
All right, Bob Barnett, hopefully people will continue to open up their hearts and their pocketbooks. We appreciate that. Prince George's County is now home to about 450 Katrina evacuees.
Now, with all the help this region is offering, why would anyone from the Gulf Coast be turned away? Some evacuees say that's exactly what happened to them when they went to the D.C. Armory today. One man says he walked 20 blocks of flooded streets in New Orleans, managed to get himself all the way to his parents' home here in the district, only to be turned away from the Armory because he didn't arrive in a government vehicle.
I just got here from New Orleans, and I need to register for FEMA. My house is gone, it's flat, and I'd like to register with the Red Cross as well. And he said, well, sorry, I can't let you in.
Which is why we like to tell these stories, because the spokeswoman for D.C.'s Emergency Management Agency says they've now changed that policy. Any evacuees who come to the Armory, regardless of how they got there, can register for federal help. Help for the homeless also coming from a Rockville church. The St. Rayfield Church congregation chartered a bus on Monday, went down to Texas to search for those in need. But the return trip from Houston back to Rockville hit some roadblocks. Fox 5's Roz Blader live in Rockville with more on why the buses almost came back empty. Roz.
Indeed, they did. You know, Brian, this was a very tough sell for some of the evacuees. It is so far north and so far away from home. At one point, the church had to pass out flyers trying to convince the evacuees to come back and make the trip with them. But indeed, that bus arrived here about half hour ago to a very enthusiastic congregation. On the bus, 21 members of a single extended family, the Norwoods, lifelong residents of New Orleans. Also tonight, the church welcomed 5 Vietnamese immigrants who flew here to the destination, all of them taking a chance on starting their lives over hundreds of miles from home. Now, there has been such an outpouring of people wanting to help, the pastor had to make several trips to Houston's Astrodome to find some takers. But tonight, members of this congregation are opening their homes to people they have never met before.
Actually, as soon as I heard about the tragedy, I wanted to do something different than just send some money.
Basic human kindness. I mean, when somebody's down and you're up, you help them out, and then you kind of hope later on when you're down and someone else is up, they'll help you out.
Now, there is a dinner at the church that is just wrapping up tonight. It was a chance to pair the evacuees with the host families. There are 10 host families who have been told to expect that the evacuees may be living with them for up to a year. Now, the church tells me that as soon as word of this got out, there were job offers just pouring in. There are 36 additional families who have volunteered to be host families. In addition, now, they have raised more than $100,000 here to help these folks get back on their feet. We're live in Rockville. I'm Roz Plater, Fox 5 News.
That makes you feel good, Roz. We appreciate it tonight. The congregation is expecting to go get more evacuees next week.
Coming up.
The D.C. area continues to help the victims of Hurricane Katrina. They got a little help today from D.C.'s finest athletes. How much you helped them raise coming up next.
Fans tell me that if I lose, it ruins their week. With the Redskins lose, it ruins my week.
I might sign off a familiar in your house, too, huh? Well, coming up, a look at the close tie between NASCAR's best and the burgundy and gold. Be right back.
Is every life worth saving? That poor guy is dying.
You're obsessed with this piece of dirt.
The season premiere of House, Tuesday at 9 on Fox 5.
It's only one day. It's Hex One Day Sale Saturday. Look for our best prices. Like activewear for her, an amazing 40% off. Athletic shoes for her, $27.99 to $49.99. Philippe Richard cookware sets are $44.99, and Serenity bath towels are only $4.99. Take 30 to 40% off during our biggest men's wardrobe sale. Get a free gift with purchase from Estee Lauder, and during our huge summer fashion clearance, save 80% store-wide. Plus, your shopping pass saves you 15% more. It's one day of amazing super savings, only at Hex. One car, one driver, one feeling. The all-new MX-5 Miata. Don't just drive the car, be the car.
I know you do more brakes and mufflers than anyone, but do you really do shocks and struts too?
Yes.
Factory scheduled maintenance?
Yes.
Oil changes?
Yes.
Tire rotation?
Yes.
Belts and hoses?
Yes.
Headlights?
Yes.
Batteries?
Yes.
Back rubs?
Yes. The Midas Touch Maintenance Package for just $29.95. We'll change your oil, rotate your tires, and do a courtesy check, including brakes, battery, filters, and more. For mechanics known for their work and their word.
Trust the Midas Touch.
Work with that left hand.
Thanks for the jest, Mom.
Simple, everyday moments can be the perfect time to talk to your kids about not smoking. So you don't have to plan a big discussion.
Look, there's a dragonfly in one of the roller coasters.
Is your leg?
A little moment will do just fine. Talk to your kids about not smoking.
Smoking cigarettes can hurt your game, too.
They'll listen.
Don't worry, Dad. I won't.
For conversation starters, log on to philipmorrisusa.com.
Fox Monday.
I don't think an innocent man should be killed for something he didn't do.
It's the Prison Break 2-hour event.
Getting through this wall is just the beginning.
She said, we better get out of here. You're reneged now. I'm gonna cut you.
Viewer discretion advised. Prison Break. Monday starting at 8 on Fox 5.
You can call Team Up DC a home run, three-pointer, a goal, whatever you want. It is a success tonight. Fox 5, along with members of the Nationals, Wizards, Mystics, DC United, Capitals, all came together to raise money for victims of Hurricane Katrina. Everyone involved, including Wizards center Eton Thomas, said they were more than happy to lend their time to the folks in the Gulf Coast states. And the community responded. Organizers collected more than $35,000 for the Red Cross today. There was even an extra $500 thrown in as a bonus. The Nationals had a bet amongst themselves. Whoever collected the least had to donate $500 out of their own pocket. No word yet on who that player is.
All right, T-minus 2 days and counting until the new Redskins season kicks off against the Chicago Bears. Now, among those who will be paying extra close attention this Sunday are some of NASCAR's top drivers. Fox 5's Diane Roberts explains why so many of racing's biggest stars will be supporting the Skins all season long.
Kane trying to hold him off, can't do it.
Tony Stewart leads the NASCAR Nextel Points race and has had some big wins in the last several weeks.
Tony Stewart wins.
Other drivers are spinning their wheels trying to figure out what's gotten into number 20.
I don't know. I'd like to get some of it, though.
Tony's on a streak and win a lot of races. Hopefully, you know, he's going to have a great run for the championship. Hopefully, we'll be able to get in there with him and give him a hard time.
Oh, and Stewart races for the Joe Gibbs racing team, the same Gibbs who's head coach of the Washington Redskins. You know, Junior's favorite team. Yeah, NASCAR's Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I'm such a big fan of the Redskins, and to tell them, you know, how much I support them is a good feeling to be able to be here in person and actually tell them. Even during the race season, you know, I'm under caution. I'm getting stats and numbers told to me over the radio during the race.
The driver became a Redskins fan in 1982 when the Burgundy and Gold won the Super Bowl. He watched his favorite team practice during training camp. Junior says his fans and football fans aren't so different.
My fans tell me that if I lose, it ruins their week. With the Redskins lose, it ruins my week.
Earnhardt has been disappointing his fans this season with only one win all year. Jeff Gordon fans are a little unsettled too. He just broke into the top 10 finisher spot. As the NASCAR season gears down, the NFL season revs up. And while Gordon is a diehard 49er fan, he does keep an eye on the Redskins.
I play some fantasy football in a league, and I'm watching football more than I ever did now. I had Redskins defense, and they came through for me on occasion. So I had a good team. Overall, I had a great fantasy football team, and got into the playoffs. So Redskins helped me out.
All three drivers hope to help themselves to great finishes, while Redskins fans hope for a good start to the regular season. Diane Roberts, Fox 5 Sports.
You got that right. By the way, you can see all three drivers when they compete in the Rock and Roll 400. That is tomorrow down in Richmond. Also, a little reminder for you, the Redskins Bears season opener again this Sunday. If you don't have tickets, we have the next best thing for you. Tune in to Fox 5. Watch the game on your couch. Our coverage starts at 11 a.m., followed by the game at 1, and then our Redskins Extra after Fox 5 News at 10.
Still ahead.
A rising gas price is going to cost you even if you don't drive. Why you could be paying more next time you hop in a cab.
And if you think prices at the pump are changing by the minute, you're not alone. Coming up, how a national organization wants D.C. officials to crack down on price gouging.
Plus, we cannot forget going into the weekend, Florida's East Coast already feeling the effects of Hurricane Ophelia. The latest update just coming in. We'll have it for you straight ahead.
Fair Oaks Chrysler Jeep extends employee pricing. These are the final days to get the Fair Oaks Chrysler or Jeep you really want. Employee pricing plus oil and filter changes for life. And you get the rebates. Fair Oaks Chantilly Chrysler Jeep.
The Kia Amante. Rich leather. 9-speaker CD sound system. Power everything. Spacious and comfortable. With 8 standard airbags and all backed by a 10-year warranty program. The Kia Amante Premium Sedan. Visit your local neighborhood Kia retailers.
Did you know Kraft single slices are a source of calcium? And calcium aids in the growth and maintenance of healthy bones and teeth?
I totally knew that.
Kraft American Singles. Double the calcium of many other American slices. Now with vitamin D.
Be selective. Select quality. Select value. Select Auto Imports. For over 18 years, Select Auto Imports has been the choice of discriminating car buyers. Select from over 140 quality premium European autos. All flawless, inspected, and certified. With interest rates as low as 1.9%. Select Auto Imports, off the Beltway's Van Dorn Street exit in Alexandria. Experience the selection of luxury. The luxury of Select.
Selling your home shouldn't be this hard. At RE/MAX, you'll find an experienced agent to take on the job and make your life a whole lot simpler.
Paper cut.
Yeah.
Let's stick with RE/MAX.
Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
Discover the possibilities of today's Ethan Allen. Introducing the new Casuals. Fresh, modern, irresistibly priced. It's Ethan Allen redefined. In stores now.
Go! Go! Get it! Go! Go! Whoa! Gotta eat.
Kick it.
Go to Checkers for our new home-style country chicken sandwich. Now just 2 for $4. It's as good as it gets. All white meat country chicken, just 2 for $4.
Go!
So go to Checkers, because you gotta eat.
Go! Go!
You gotta eat.
Fair Oaks Dodge extends employee pricing. These are the final days to get the Fair Oaks Dodge you really want. Employee pricing plus oil and filter changes for life. And you get the rebates. Fair Oaks Dodge in Fairfax City.
Riding Amtrak's rails will cost you more money. One more sign of the economic fallout from Hurricane Katrina. Amtrak announced it'll raise most fares between 5% and 7%. The company blames the rising oil prices. An Amtrak spokesman says fuel costs have gone up nearly 40% over the past year. The rate hikes go into effect September 20th. And that is not the only rate hike out there. Get ready to dig deeper into your wallet. Taxi fares in D.C. are also going up. Consider this a fair warning. Higher gas prices mean higher taxi cab tabs. Fox 5's Matt Ackland has the story from Northwest.
For those people who came to Adams Morgan this Friday night in a cab, if they leave after midnight this evening, it's going to cost them more to get home. The price is so high at the pump, these days there are fewer cabbies cruising around looking for customers. Instead, they are choosing to line up outside hotels with their engines off, saving gas. Tonight, those cabbies are finally getting a little relief.
Well, it helps, but not that much.
At midnight, cab riders will have to hand over an additional $1.50 for each trip. For many cabbies, the added charge is desperately needed, but some of them worry customers may not want to take on the additional cost.
Some of them, they don't understand.
I understand that they need to make a living just like everyone else.
How bad is it? Well, some cab drivers tell us they're spending double the amount on gasoline now compared to just a few months ago. It's so bad, some are slamming the door on a profession they used to find profitable.
Because of that, from full-time job, I had to switch to the part-time job because I couldn't afford gas.
Already, many cab customers complain about the zone fares in the district, saying the system is too confusing and can be too expensive. Many are now thinking they'll choose another way to get around.
I can walk. The places I take the cab, and I pay $7, $8, I can walk or take the subway for $1.50.
Cab drivers say even with the $1.50 increase for each ride, that still falls short of what they need to make ends meet. But they also understand there's a limit to what customers will pay. In Adams Morgan, Matt Ackland, Fox 5 News.
By the way, this latest dollar hike replaces a dollar surcharge that expired last week. By the way, the $1.50 surcharge will be in place for the next 120 days.
Well, some thieves, apparently sick of the high gas prices, found a way to steal a huge amount of diesel fuel. In Fairfax County, police say someone stole 400 gallons from a construction site in Lorton. Sky Fox high over the scene this morning on Gunston Cove Road. Police say the thieves either took the diesel fuel slowly over a several-day period or they brought in a huge fuel tank to the site and took the gas. Either way, police say they have no leads. D.C. drivers starting to feel like the big oil companies are stealing from them. The district is paying the highest price for fuel in the country. Prices have soared so high, AAA is asking Mayor Anthony Williams now to look into whether some of those oil companies are price gouging. As Fox 5's Paul Wagner reports, that has prompted the Attorney General's office in D.C. to open an inquiry into the allegations.
In a letter to Mayor Tony Williams, AAA Mid-Atlantic said it is now more costly to purchase gasoline in Washington than 49 states. Within hours of writing the letter, Washington soared to #1. With an anti-price gouging law on the books in the district, AAA told the mayor it shouldn't be tolerated.
It's easier said than done to prove that, but we think there's something awry in the district, and we want it to be investigated, and city officials or district officials have shown a willingness to look into the issue.
In addition, the Auto Club is pointing fingers at ExxonMobil, saying it's heard from numerous disgruntled Exxon dealers. Dealers who say the prices they are forced to charge are driving away loyal customers. On this one-block stretch of Connecticut Avenue in Kensington, there are 5 gas stations. This Getty is charging $3.19 a gallon. The Chevron up there, $3.19 a gallon. The Independence station across the street, $3.16 a gallon. And down at the Shell, $3.17 a gallon. On the same block here at this Exxon station, they're charging $3.39 a gallon, 20 cents more than any other station. A businessman in Montgomery County who owns several gas stations gave us this example of cost disparity. He says Exxon is charging him $2.78 for regular. When you add 41.9 cents for tax, it comes to $3.20 a gallon. In the same neighborhood, BP is charging him $2.45 for regular. 41.9 cents tax, that comes to $2.86 a gallon. The man, who did not want to be identified, said, "With the catastrophe in our nation, it seems un-American. Thank you." Dealer being gouged. We showed the information to John Townsend.
That's the strongest evidence we've seen, that there is something awry, that Exxon is taking advantage of its dealers and also taking advantage of consumers.
Paul Wagner, Fox 5 News.
We called Exxon twice today seeking comment for this story. Our calls were not returned.
Natural gas prices are also on the rise thanks to Hurricane Katrina. You can expect to pay higher energy bills this winter. The Energy Department says price hikes for gasoline, oil, and natural gas will all depend on how fast damaged oil platforms and refineries out in the Gulf can be repaired. Natural gas prices in the Midwest could jump as much as 71%. Heating oil in the Northeast could rise 31%.
Still ahead.
A woman walking down the street gets the scare of her life from a man she thought was a cop. We'll explain that next.
Also, a 5-month-old baby is dead. Tonight, a father's mistake that has police asking questions.
Toyota has more choices, better choices, including choices with better resale values. In fact, 4 Toyota vehicles earned 2005 Residual Value Awards for having the highest predicted resale value in their segment. And most Toyotas exceed the industry average for retained value. That's important because the average new vehicle today will lose half its value in the first 3 years. So consider a brand with a reputation for being a better value today and tomorrow. Toyota, moving you forward.
Take a half-pound of beef, pile on mushrooms and Swiss cheese. Now that's something to yodel about. Ruby Tuesday's Alpine Swiss Burger. One of 36 famous burgers only at Ruby Tuesday. So good, it's guaranteed. So does a burger have to be made of beef to be called a burger? Not in our book. Ruby Tuesday's Hickory Chicken Burger. One of 36 famous burgers only at Ruby Tuesday. So good, it's guaranteed.
I need an ultrasound machine.
I need 70 more rolls of paper.
All small businesses have one thing in common. They need things.
We need to get 6 tickets for Tokyo.
With no preset spending limit, the American Express Business Gold Card makes it easy to get what you need.
I need 480 tons of plaster.
No matter what it is you need to get. Apply today, and we'll waive the fee for the first year. Call 1-800-NOW-OPEN.
Ever heard of Summer G? Rap mogul, self-made millionaire.
If you had everything,
You got a house in the Hamptons. Brother is bringing from all angles.
would you give it all up
I'd like to introduce you to somebody.
Summer.
Scott.
It's been a long time.
for a second chance?
You know she's married.
This guy is coming on to my wife.
If I leave my world, can you leave yours?
Sophisticated and stylish. A handsome, compelling drama. You brought him into my house. Great edge-of-your-seat moments. G, rated R. Opens September 16th.
Who says you were out of shape? Go deep.
Front-end pedestrian safety system. Just one of 120 not-so-standard features available on the all-new German-engineered Passat.
Touchdown.
A warning tonight from police in Montgomery County. A sexual predator is on the loose tonight, and he's impersonating a police officer. This is the area of Veers Mill Road in Rockville, where a man approached a woman with a police badge last night. Investigators say he placed her under arrest and ordered her into his car. The man then drove off, pulled out a handgun, and attempted to rape her. Police say you'll know the real thing from an impersonator because they always have an identification card with a picture along with that badge.
Anyone that is an actual police officer would have a badge and identification. So you can request to see their identification to confirm that they are a police officer.
Police also say if you're ever in doubt and you are walking, make as much noise as possible and run in the other direction.
You know, it is hard to imagine ever forgetting your own baby, but that's exactly what a Frederick, Maryland father says happened. He left his 5-month-old baby in the car just outside his Frederick County house. When he finally went back to his car hours later, his baby was in cardiac arrest. The father called 911, but the infant died. Neighbors say they just can't get over this terrible news.
It's very sad. I can't imagine what the mother feels like and what he feels like, even the father, having to live with this.
The couple has 3 other children, all boys. The Frederick County State's Attorney has not decided if charges will be filed. Charges are pending against a driver who hit and killed a construction worker in Prince George's County. It happened last night on Annapolis Road in Lanham. Police say a Chevy Tahoe hit several cars, then hit 22-year-old Moises Limon before finally running over a curb and stopping. Police arrested that driver and took him to the hospital as a precaution.
Traffic near the Beltway in Alexandria back to normal tonight, but it wasn't smooth sailing for hundreds of drivers this morning. A dump truck's arms clipped the overpass at Route 1 and 495. Lanes on both sides were closed for several hours. Crews had the ramp repaired by the afternoon rush, though. 3 people, including the driver of that truck, were injured. They are all expected to be okay.
Well, we're following a bit of good news out of the Gulf tonight.
Some of Katrina's feathered victims getting a helping hand tonight. Where they're headed next. When?
And we wish we knew where Hurricane Ophelia was headed because it just keeps changing its mind. Lots going on. We're going to show you what the forecast is ahead, as well as a look at that weekend for you.
Life comes at you fast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
2 orders of the naked chicken strips, please. Just picking up a lighter treat for the wife and I.
Dr. Chang, you guys don't need to be 18 to buy our naked chicken strips. It's just chicken. There's no nudity.
Enjoy Popeye's naked chicken strips. They're big on New Orleans flavor, small on fat grams. 3 strips with ranch dipping sauce are the perfect way to satisfy your Popeye's craving.
2 orders?
To go.
For over 18 years, Select Auto Imports has been the choice of discriminating car buyers. Select from over 140 quality premium European autos, all flawless, inspected and certified, with interest rates as low as 1.9%. Be selective. Select quality. Select value. Select Auto Imports, off the Beltway's Van Dorn Street exit in Alexandria. Experience the selection of luxury, the luxury of Select.
Lots of Wi-Fi users work in coffee shops, which aren't always the best places to work. Wouldn't it be great to work wherever you wanted instead of only in hotspots? Now you can with Verizon Wireless Broadband Access. Wi-Fi only works in limited locations, while broadband access is the nation's largest, fastest, wide-area wireless broadband network and is expanding coast to coast. Now get unlimited access at a great price, so you won't get stuck in a not-so-hot spot. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
No Venetian blinds. That's why Geico.com is so simple. Or is it because you can get help if you need it and get a free rate quote in minutes? 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Simple as that.
This week at California, Tony Stewart and the number 20 Home Depot team won the $10,000 Checkers Rally's Double Drive-Thru Challenge for spending the least amount of time in pit lane. The 20 team is now eligible for the season-ending $100,000 grand prize.
Get going to Checkers for our new Homestyle Country Chicken Sandwich. Now, just 2 for $4. It's as good as it gets. All white meat country chicken, just 2 for $4. So go to Checkers, the official drive-thru of NASCAR.
Take a look at this. There are some big waves down in Florida, a sign that Hurricane Ophelia is swirling nearby. The storm right now sitting about 175 miles off Florida's coast, and this is what it is doing to the Jacksonville beach. The storm, by the way, is moving away from Florida, but the question now everybody wants to know is, where is that storm headed next?
This is one of those sleeper storms that's been out there hanging around for a while, making a lot of people nervous.
Oh, really? And you know what? Even though it started to move, it's just crawling. And that is really a problem as well. The track's still very much in question with this storm, and we do have a forecast track for it, but you know what? The models are all still kind of up and down in terms of where is the storm going to go and what exactly is it going to do. Well, we're going to begin with a look at Storm Scan for you. This is our infrared satellite shot of the storm. And an interesting little feature here with this. We've seen some dry air come into the center of circulation from the west, and if you take a look here, that has actually decreased a lot of the convection that's here in the center of this. And then another interesting feature here is on the north side of it. It's got a pretty impressive outflow here that also has now got a fair amount of convection in it. But it continues to just spin here, and hurricane force winds are extending at about 15 miles out from the center of the storm. So we just saw that video of what it's like at the beach there. Beach erosion, a major factor here as well. Let's go to our maps now. The outer bounds of rainfall have already produced anywhere from about 1 to 4 inches of rainfall in some areas, and you know, this is really a big problem because a lot of these regions have already been saturated with a fair amount of rainfall over the course of the past couple of weeks, and so they are nervous about this. And there is high surf advisories in the area as well, so definitely have to watch this very closely because the beaches are certainly being affected. So let's have a look at what the forecast track is. I've added the cone so you can see in this particular track just the areas that would eventually be affected, at least with some precipitation, if nothing else. And here's a look at it. Moves its way to the northeast. It's already slowly started to do that now before it takes a little bit of a loop, and then it heads its way through to the west before it heads its way up towards the Carolinas. That is forecast to happen by the time we hit into Wednesday. So moving its way through to the northeast over the course of the weekend before it starts to take a turn. Why is all this happening? Well, there's a couple of factors involved in that, and we're going to show you. Of course, we're talking about the warm waters here. We did see it already intensify. What's happening is there's a trough to the north of it, the upper level jet here as well, and that is pulling it a little bit towards the northeast. So it's moving now slowly in reaction to that trough. However, that's supposed to happen over the course of this weekend and already has begun. By the time we get into the early part of next week, we've got another scenario. Ridge of high pressure building into the south, another one building into the north over New England. That's going to take this upper level jet, this air, and move its way to the north. And as a result, we'll see some steering mechanism here, a little bit of wind that'll pull this to the west. So that's what we're talking about here. A lot of various factors as far as it's concerned. Right now, we've got rip currents we have to deal with, very dangerous there along the beach areas. Not expecting it to strengthen, at least in the next 24 hours or so. We talked about the outer bands of heavy rainfall and as well persistent winds along that coastal region. We still have two other tropical storms, Maria and Nate, but they are both weakening, not much happening with them at all, and they are heading their way off towards the northeast. So our headlines, Ophelia, a Category 1 hurricane. It was a hurricane, a tropical storm, now back to hurricane status again. For us, things are looking great. We got a fabulous weekend ahead, and next week it'll be much warmer. Things pretty calm for us. We've had a frontal system that's moved its way through. Not a whole lot happening. A little bit of light shower activity in some areas earlier this morning, but that was about it. Temperatures into the low to mid-70s pretty much everywhere right now. A little bit warmer than it was yesterday at this time. National temperatures, a reflection of where that frontal system has moved through. 67 in Detroit, but a lot warmer across the deep south. So all the action down here is where we're going to keep a very close eye for us. We've got this frontal system, nice Canadian ridge of high pressure building in. That's going to hold us steady into next week. Fabulous 5-day forecast to show you. Pretty much a repeat of what it's been for the last week or so. So 64 degrees then, mostly clear, very comfortable here for tonight. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. Get out and enjoy it. Lots of festivals and outdoor activities going on. 85 degrees, mostly sunny skies, a very light easterly wind. And the 5-day forecast is fabulous, but we will definitely be keeping a close eye on the southeast, just to tell you, and as we keep you updated in terms of what that hurricane is going to do.
All right. Thank you very much, Gwen.
Help finally arrived today for some little talked about victims of Hurricane Katrina. Some penguins who rode out the hurricane at the Aquarium of the Americas in New Orleans rescued from their habitats. The building wasn't badly damaged in the storm, but the penguins and other aquatic life had been living without power. Animals are now headed to facilities in Texas and California.
Celebrities are also helping out the hurricane victims, either by going down themselves like Matthew McConaughey, Jamie Foxx, or they're even donating as much as $1 million like Celine Dion, Nicolas Cage, and George Clooney. Well, actor Blair Underwood was in our studios today here at Fox 5 promoting his upcoming film, G. He also talked about how he and his family are trying to help out.
You know, gave money, and my kid, we have 3 young kids. They broke their piggy banks. We went down to the Red Cross last week and gave money.
Blair Underwood's new movie, G, is described as a hip-hop remake of The Great Gatsby. It opens in theaters Friday, September 16th.
Well, the Nationals still hanging on, hoping for the playoffs.
All of us are keeping our fingers crossed. Lou Holder's now here with a word on that.
Yes, 3 games at home, and this is going to decide it. 3 games, you got to do it at home against the Braves. Atlanta in town, but is the playoff dream turning into a nightmare for the Nats? We'll tell you if it is. And speaking of playoffs, is this the year that the Redskins finally return to the promised land? The season opener, less than 2 days away. Sports on the other side.
Your guide to the all-new Hyundai Sonata. that has more standard safety features than any car in its class, like 6 airbags, electronic stability control, and active front head restraints. Plus, award-winning quality backed by America's best warranty. All for $4,500 less than Accord. The all-new Hyundai Sonata, starting at just $17,495. It's a Hyundai like you've never seen before. Test drive the fuel-efficient all-new Hyundai Sonata, starting at just $17,495.
It's only one day. It's Hex One Day Sale Saturday. Look for our best prices. Like activewear for her, an amazing 40% off. Athletic shoes for her, $27.99 to $49.99. Philippe Richard cookware sets are $44.99, and Serenity bath towels are only $4.99. Take 30 to 40% off during our biggest men's wardrobe sale. Get a free gift with purchase from Estee Lauder. And during our huge summer fashion clearance, save 80% store-wide. Plus, your shopping pass saves you 15% more. It's one day of amazing super savings, only at Hex.
What's gotten into Rusty?
That new French Toast Festival down there at the IHOP.
Bonjour.
Don't worry. It's a limited time offer.
It's French Toast Festival at IHOP. Try luscious stuffed French toast, tempting cinnamon swirl, or delicious classic French toast. Served with all your favorites starting at just $4.99, it's an irresistible deal. IHOP. Come hungry? Leave happy.
It's about bringing Republicans and Democrats, people from all sides, together to solve problems.
As mayor of Richmond, Tim Kaine cut the murder rate in half, built the first new schools in a generation, cut taxes, and created jobs. As lieutenant governor, Tim Kaine worked with Governor Warner to solve the budget crisis and increase investments in education and transportation, and cut the food tax. As governor, Tim Kaine will keep Virginia moving forward.
BMW X3. Lease the BMW X3 3.0i for $349 a month through September 30th.
And now, Fox 5 Sports with Lou Holder.
All right, when Nats right fielder Jose Guillen found out that the evacuee who threw out Wednesday's first pitch was separated from his family, he offered to fly the whole family up from Houston for a much-needed reunion that will happen tomorrow. Well, tonight, Jose Guillen came through for his Nats family against the division-leading Braves. Pick it up in the fifth. Nats down 6-2. Preston Wilson gets the comeback going. Single off Horatio Ramirez. Aforementioned Jose Guillen scores. It's 6-3 Braves. Then in the seventh, look at Vinny Castilla. Wow, look at that shot. A solo shot off of Kyle Davies. Vinny's 11-6 for Atlanta. Then the Nats blow it open in the eighth. Brad Wilkerson with a shot to right off of John Foster. That drops in for a double. Ryan Church and Christian Guzman score. It's tied at 6. Two batters later, Jose Guillen again, and look at this in the clutch. That drives in Wilkerson and Kenny Kelly. Guillen's 1,000th career hit, and the Nats still alive and kicking. They race a 4-run deficit and beat Atlanta. 8-6 is the final. Catch game 2 of the Nats and Braves right here on Fox 5, Saturday at 1 p.m. To the Boogie Down Bronx, Yankees up 4-3 on Boston in the 6th. Robinson Cano smacks a single to center off David Wells. Johnny Damon issues. Jorge Posada trying to score from first. More issues. Look at Edgar Renteria's relay. What was that? 5-3 Yankees. 3 batters later, Bernie Williams. RBI single off of Chad Bradford. Bombers score 4 in the 6th, 3 with 2 outs. They beat 8-4 is the final. For the 4th straight year, the NFL scheduling guides have been kind to the Burgundy and Gold, opening up a season at home. Sunday, the Bears come into FedEx at 1 p.m. Patrick Ramsey will have a lot to do with the mood of people when they leave FedEx around 4 p.m. He's been given the starting quarterback job, but make no mistake, with a healthy offensive line, a wiser Clinton Portis, and a couple of new speedy receivers, Ramsey will be under a microscope. But just like when he started the season in 2003, number 11 embraces the thrill of opening day.
I'm excited about it. I am. We've got a good team to go against. It's a good test for us early, and we've been waiting for this one. So I think we're ready to go out there and play. At first, you're going to have jitters, and I think that's natural. But I think when you prepare, that you kind of know what to expect, or you think you know what to expect. So there's not a whole lot to be real uneasy about. There's a real electricity out there. Everybody's been ready for the season to begin, and it's here now.
All right, once again, it's on. Game day at 11 a.m., 11:30, the pregame show. Bears and Skins at 1, Redskins Extra at 11 p.m. Women's semis at the U.S. Open.